Good morning again, and thank you all for coming. Today, a little different program than what we usually have. We're honoring one of our own that many years ago, a World War II vet who was killed in action, Fred Baker, and his friend, Laverne Stackhouse. And members of those families are here today with us, and they will be recognized with a roll call later on. So without any further ado, I'm just going to introduce you to John Strupp. Let him take it from here. He has a friend with him also, Andy Blighty, who will be making a few remarks. And then we're going to go down to the community center afterwards, and we're inviting the Stackhouse, Baker family, thank you, Baker family, and the World War II vets, and socialize a little bit more of what World War II means to the generations after these two, especially these two, lost their lives. John?
Thank you for the introduction. As Blaine said, my name is John Strupp. I'm so glad to be here today to remember and honor two men who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We're presenting a Silver Star and a Purple Heart earned by Fred Theodore William Baker for his actions on September 1st, 1944, near Thionville, France, the day he was killed. And like Blaine said, we also have Laverne Stackhouse's family here. Laverne was a friend of Fred's that he met in Sioux Falls, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. Laverne was also killed 2 weeks later on September 13th, 1944 in France. Both were members of the 3rd Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron. And I think the best place to start would be to tell you who Fred William Theodore Baker is. Fred was born on July 1st, 1921 in Rock Valley, Iowa. He was the second child of Neil and Catherine Baker. Fred had 3 sisters, Marion, Dorothy, and Lorraine. In February of 1923, the Baker family moved here to Volga. Fred attended Volga Public Schools and graduated from the 8th grade on May 24th, 1935. He was also a member of the Volga Lutheran Church, and he was confirmed on May 10th, 1936. In June of 1937, the Baker family moved to Sioux Falls, and that's where he met Laverne Stackhouse. We're not sure how they met, but they became good friends. Laverne Stackhouse was born on September 1st, 1920 in Sioux Falls. He grew up on a farm in Ellis, just outside of Sioux Falls. For a brief period of time, Laverne was engaged to Fred's sister Lorraine, but they never married. Both men joined the Army in January of 1939, and I'm going to let Andy Blighty take it from here and tell you a little bit about the 3rd Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron, and I'll come back later.
Hello, my name is Andy Blighty. My father, Sergeant Peter Blighty, served with Fred, and they were direct companions. So I want to tell you a little bit about the 3rd Reconnaissance Squad. So they came out of Gordon, Camp Gordon in 1943, and were trained on mechanism. So basically they had an M8 Jeeps, half track, little patrols. They were taught to go and do reconnaissance behind enemy lines. Very, very dangerous missions. And they trained on this for a good 8 months. And they had people that had skills. My father actually could speak fluent German, so that was very, very big. So they left on the boat in New York City on July 1, before D-Day, and went into Liverpool. And they trained in intelligence at Bletchley Park because their main mission was to gather intelligence. They were the spearhead of the Third Army. And basically, there was 700 men and 133 officers. They had troop A, B, C, and D. Fred was with my dad in B, and Laverne was in troop A, that I understand. But it didn't matter because these guys, you know, actually lived together, you know, and knew each other on that. So they got into France on the 6th of August on Utah Beach, and by the 9th they were in a flight every day from there until April, the 3rd Calvary. One of the things that I'd like people to understand is there was the thing called the Red Ball Express, and they were going across France. They went through Chartres, they went through Orleans, south of Paris, they went into Verdun. They got all the way to Fayetteville, and that's where the battle was in Fayetteville, 70 miles behind enemy lines. They accomplished their mission, and that's where Fred was killed in action. 2 weeks later, Laverne was killed. But my dad obviously made it through the war. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for letting me be here at this ceremony. Thank you.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about how I ended up here today. This journey for me has been about a year, and it started as a trip to work on the bus. I got on the bus one day at work, going to work, and I noticed Denise Baker, who's no relation to Fred, sitting on the bus with a pair of World War II gunners going on a jacket. And so I struck up a conversation with her and found out that they belonged to her uncle, who was killed in action on March 24th, 1945. He was a waste gunner at B-17, and his plane crashed in England returning from a bombing mission. But anyway, she said that she worked in a storage facility and had cleaned out an abandoned locker and found a silver star and a Purple Heart. They had the name Fred W.T. Baker on the back. She wanted to see if she could get them back to the family, but didn't know how. And I said, well, I'll try, see what I could find on the internet. And through the internet, I was able to find information on Fred, and I met Andy, and he was able to help me with gathering information. And I did find the family through the Argus Leader newspaper, because I ran out of ideas on how to find the Baker family. And friend suggested I email the newspaper, so I did that. And Pete Harriman ran an article in the February 9th edition of the paper, and it was a Saturday, and by the end of the afternoon, I was speaking to Mike Gerke over there as Fred's great nephew. And so I did the research,